Hi friends. Well, I want to give now another update on what's been happening since my last video. So last time on Irene's Van Ventures, which definitely has been ventures, I had just moved to the RV park. I had got my back set up, my new mattress, but I was like on a whirlwind of a move trying to get everything out. So I was pretty exhausted and trying to reboot from all of that. So with that in mind, here's what's been happening since the last video. All right, so boy, do I have a story to tell you. After I moved here on Thursday about 4 o'clock, okay? And that was the last video, and I was rebooting and everything like that. But before I get to after a couple of days from that point, I have to tell you a story that I didn't actually film it, but it did happen. I just, sometimes I get so wrapped up in the moment of everything that's happening, and I don't always film everything. But where I used to park my van over at my roommate's alongside of the road, and I do have a video, couple videos back about where my new place was, where I was parking my van probably about a quarter of a mile down the road from my roommate's house. I got back on the 31st from taking my stuff to the storage unit, and I was like trying to get my extra stuff out of there as quickly as possible. So when I got back on the 31st, and that was the day that my mattress was arriving that day, well, I go and I park my van alongside the road, and it's kind of grassy and, obviously not very thick in grass because it's kind of became saturated with moisture and from the rain and everything, and the mud, or became muddy, I should say. So I ended up getting stuck in the mud on my passenger side because I used to back up the road and then pull forward into the spot. So basically my passenger side, got embedded into the mud. So it was kind of a mess. And so at that point, I had two options: trying to wait for somebody to come by with a truck, pull me out, because I do have a tow strap, and one of these days I'll go over the tow strap and things that I have on hand. And I had a hitch part thing to go into my receiver that you can connect the tow strap to. So eventually I'll kind of go over more and more things that I have on hand in case of situations like this. So anyways, at this point, I'm just trying to figure out how am I going to get out of this situation. It was too muddy for me to try to use my jack, try to do anything to get me out of that situation. I didn't have a tarp to put down. Yeah, I tried to put some wood pieces underneath there, but it wasn't working because it was just so saturated and wet with mud, and it was just a mess. So the other option was I wasn't too far off the road, so I was thinking, well, maybe I'm not so far off of the main dirt gravel road that, about 100 feet, that AAA hopefully would come and maybe tow me out if I needed to do that. I was going to call them. Well, while I was on the phone with Ken going over the situation, I was counting my footsteps, off of the main road where I was on. I was on her road, basically. It's her private road to get to her house, and there's a neighbor house that they share that road. Well, so while I was doing the counting of the steps to see how far off I was, this big truck came down the road. It was a 4x4 with extended cab and everything. And so I stopped him, and help, you know, can you pull me out? Can you tow me out? I have a tow strap and everything like that. So they were in a hurry. So this is why, again, I kind of get where I don't like to bother people to say, oh, can I take a moment and film this, because it all was happening pretty quickly. So I found them so quickly. Actually, I got very, very lucky. I'm so thankful. And so I grabbed them, and I was so busy trying to, you know, not take up too much of their time, because they were being so kind to help pull me out. And also, by the time we just got me pulled out pretty much back onto the drive, the road, the neighbor was coming down. She was trying to hurry up. She was trying to get to work. You know, it was more of a reason like, okay, I can't be filming this. You know, I can't be interrupting people's lives, you know, because of my situation, or to film it for YouTube. So you're just going to have to take my word for it. So anyway, now I'm thinking, okay, I can no longer be down here. So now I really don't have a whole lot of options. This is more of a reason I was feeling that something was telling me I'm not supposed to be here, because now I can no longer park down below because of being stuck in the mud, and that's just going to happen again. If I'm up at the top over by her house, the trees, you know, there's a situation with all of her dense trees, right? So I go up there with the van, though. So this is now the 31st. I get my mattress. I start setting up the mattress the next day. And I was pretty exhausted trying to do that. But because I was underneath the trees again, it made me want to work harder and faster and get out of there, because I didn't feel safe, right, with my van anywhere near her dense, tall trees that are around her house and driveway. So now it is the, you know, 3rd, so that's Thursday. I get myself out of there, right? But I mean, there's times I was in the van till 9, 10 o'clock at night working on my van, you know, and hoping that there wasn't going to be a windstorm, anything crazy, or a tree still coming down because of all the moisture and everything in the ground. So, with the dirt, right? So anyway, so I get here, I'm kind of rebooting. That was the last video that I ended up sharing with everybody as I'm trying to recuperate. Well, we get a windstorm that came in that Saturday, so just 2 days after, you know, that second night, after I got out of this roommate situation and got to the RV park, we get this windstorm that came in about 10 o'clock at night, and it was just rainy and windy, and, you know, I kind of thought about her place, like, oh my gosh, you know, I hope everything's going to be okay there. Really, I don't wish anything bad towards her end. And, but I kind of had this thought about her. Well, anyways, the next day, I get a text from her, and this is what the text said, okay? She said, boy, did you leave in time. I'm not kidding, she said, 12 trees fall last night in that horrible wind storm. I was down driveway sleeping. My place is a mess. Loggers coming tomorrow to help me. None hit the house this time. Lucky. All those big ones, we park our cars under driveway, is what came down. So, well, some. Okay, so what happened is I did get her to, you know, talk to me. You know, I said, oh my gosh, you got to call me. Tell me what happened. So she said 3 had come down right in front where she has this big window, which is just slightly back from where that one that hit her house. It was right between her family room and the dining room area were that one that hit her house. Well, 3 had come down right in front of these big windows of her living room. It's kind of like her bird area. But what happened is she saw that wind come up, you know, because she's got these bamboo trees out in front of her window. And she watches that. And when that thing starts to blow, and, you know, that's her kind of, you know, meter to, okay, I got to get my dogs and get the heck out of there. So she did get herself out and her dogs. They got into her car, and she got down the driveway, is what she said. And so when she came back the next day, the next morning, that's when, oh my gosh, the mess. So she had 3 that came down right in front of her house, which is the only way left to get out, because the other way still has a lot of debris from that last tree, you know, where I used to go out the other side. And 8 of them had come down right over the lower part of the driveway, because think of it like a donut. You have to kind of go up this upper drive, and if you saw where that boat was, that was where that tree had come down and over her boat. And then you come down and circle around and go down to the lower section, and that's where we parked our vehicles, hers and then mine. And then if there's a third person, they would have been behind me. Well, there was a lot of leaning trees actually where I parked my van that were pretty scary. In fact, when I was loading up my van, I made sure that I cleared one really big one, you know, that was kind of like by the edge. And I kind of parked a little more in front of that one, but there was still this leaning one that was kind of making me scared, because if that one came down, it would come down on top of my van. Well, so 8 of them had come just all down over her driveway. Crazy. She said, technically, I would have had several trees that would have landed and totaled out my van, and her vehicle would have been totaled too if anything was there at the time of that windstorm. So just crazy. I have just been sitting here for days just going, wow. I felt some subscribers were just also telling me, you know, you need to get out of there. There's just been so much that's happened to you since you've been there. There's a message here and all these warnings, and the branch that clipped my hood, the tree that fell. I kept feeling in my heart that I didn't feel safe there with all of the trees. Her message of telling me that that was kind of early in this season for that tree to come down, like she said. And even then, you know, she was worried about my safety, even though she forgot about it later on when all she could think about was getting to Baja, right? But at that time, after the tree first hit, she was a little concerned about the timing of that first tree coming down so early in the season. All these were, I felt like they were just messages that this was not right. I needed to get out, and I did not feel safe here. So I escaped several trees coming down and would have totaled out my van. She just texted me some pictures. I asked her, oh, can you send me some pictures? I'm just curious, you know. So she did send those. I'll put them in at the end of what she sent me. It's kind of a little confusing to tell what direction was what, you know, other than I can tell what was at the front of her house. And I'll try to define it for you, but you can see what a mess. So she has decided to do a tree clearing and clear out a lot of those trees, and I don't know how much she's going to try to clear out and how much is still going to be in a vulnerable situation. But anyways, I just had to share that because, wow, I'm still blown away how close me and Serenity, my van, could have been, or me working in my van, right? Because I was working in my van at night. Hopefully I would have gotten out, you know, but who knows? I mean, that could have happened in the middle of the night. You have no warning when those windstorms come. So I really feel like I dodged a huge bullet, you know, and all of my subscribers that were also throwing those hints, you know, this is a warning. I think there's a warning here. Get out, you know, and I took heed to all of that and my inner instincts. So thank you all for that. And anyway, so that's kind of, I've been rebooting. I've been being thankful, grateful, just taking time for me, rebooting from everything. So next on my list is to take care of all of this. Now I'm going to be working hard on getting my front organized. I have a couple 2 bins over here I'm going to be getting organized. So I'll go over later how I'm organizing things, okay? So that's what's been going on. I'll show you Milo. The back is not made up or anything. It's still kind of, I jumped out for the day, and he likes to lay on the pillows in the different, you know, levels. But I've been saving my energy for other things rather than, you know, making my bed right now. So I'll still show you him, okay? It's Milo. He's just kind of vegging. He's just kind of resting. I take him out for a couple little walks a day, trying to strengthen up his muscles. He's been a little bit of a setback with his spine, and he's got arthritis, I'm pretty sure, going on with this leg here. So I've got him back on his meloxicam and a little bit of some pain pills. But we're taking it day by day and I'm trying to strengthen him up. So I've got some videos of us, you know, going out for little walks. So I'll be sharing that soon. But yeah, so he has kind of good days and bad days, but he's almost 10 and a half. So I don't know. That's another reason I've been taking some time of reflecting. And I actually have been nervous and concerned about his well-being as well. But I don't know. But I'm trying to stay strong emotionally and really loving every day I have with him, because I don't know what's going to happen. He'll be 11 this July. So day by day, just keep this little guy in your prayers right now too, and thoughts and positive thoughts for my little boy here. All right, well, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update of what's been going on. And so pretty soon I'll be showing you, like I said, the RV park and other little projects that I've got going on. Also in my spare time, I've been trying to read more, or not read, but watch videos of learning more about my drone in my spare time. So just really taking time for me, I don't know, meditating, praying to God, being thankful to Him for, you know, so many blessings that have happened, you know, of sparing me and my van, you know, from this horrible thing that happened to her. But I am so thankful that nothing hit her house. I really am grateful, and her car was spared, and the house, and she is doing that clear you know, or cutting that she's going to do, because I think that is important for her to protect her house. That's her house, you know, and her life, you know. If enough of them came down on her house, it could kill her. So yeah, so anyway, just thought I would just share what's going on. So stay tuned for the next video of my adventures here, redoing my van, getting that finished, and I'll be sharing the RV park. Okay, so I love you all. Thank you for, you know, coming along my journey and sharing this journey with me. And it's been quite an adventure here in the Pacific Northwest. Okay. Love you all. See you in the next video.